There is a list in the Bible of the greatest heroes of the faith. Hebrews chapter 11, the Faith Hall of Fame. And you will find names you expect: Abraham, Moses, David, Gideon, and then, right in the middle of that list, you find a woman named Rahab, a Canaanite woman, an outsider, a woman the Bible itself calls a prostitute. And yet God placed her in the same list as the patriarchs. He placed her in the bloodline of Jesus Christ. He made her the great-great-grandmother of King David. If that surprises you, then you don't yet know the full story of Rahab. Today, we are going to fix that. Rahab lived in Jericho, one of the most powerful and fortified cities in the ancient world. Its walls were so thick that people built their homes inside the walls themselves. And that is exactly where Rahab lived, in a house built into the city wall. She is described in Scripture as a harlot, and while some scholars debate the precise meaning of that word in its original context, the text is clear. She was not a respected woman. She lived on the margins of society. She was overlooked. She was not considered worthy of honor. But God saw something in Rahab that the world had completely missed, and the moment that revealed it was coming. The Israelites were on the edge of the promised land. Joshua, Moses' successor, sent 2 spies into Jericho to scout the city before the coming battle. And where do these 2 spies end up? At Rahab's house. Whether by chance, by strategy, or by divine appointment, the story doesn't say, but what happens next tells you everything. The king of Jericho found out. He sent a direct message to Rahab: "Bring out the men who came to you. They are spies." Rahab had already hidden the 2 men on her rooftop, under stalks of flax, and now she had a choice. Turn them in and protect herself, or protect them and risk everything. She chose to protect them, but more than that, she tells them exactly why. In Joshua 2:9-11, Rahab says these words: "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below." Stop right there. This woman had never met Moses. She had never seen the Red Sea part. She had never heard God's voice. She was a Canaanite woman in a pagan city. And yet, she had declared something that many Israelites themselves struggled to hold on to. She knew. She had heard what God had done. And she believed. That is not knowledge. That is faith. Not the faith of the comfortable. The faith of someone willing to risk everything on what she heard was true. She helps the spies escape through a window in the city wall, and they make a covenant with her. She must hang a scarlet cord, a red cord, from the same window. When the Israelites come, every person inside the house with that red cord will be saved. Every person outside will not. It is one of the most striking images in all of the Old Testament. A red cord, hanging in a window, a mark of protection, a covenant of salvation. Some scholars see in it a foreshadowing of the blood of Christ. A red marker that declares, the ones inside this covenant are covered. But whatever you believe about the symbolism, what Rahab does next speaks louder than any interpretation. She ties that cord in the window immediately. She doesn't wait, she doesn't hesitate. She believed, and she acted. Rahab's story is only getting started. What happens next? When those walls come crashing down, and what God does with the rest of her life, is the part that most people never hear. Stay with me. And if you haven't subscribed to MOE Golden Hour Tales TV yet, do it right now. New women of the Bible stories every week. The Israelites marched around Jericho for 7 days. On the 7th day, they shouted, and the walls of Jericho fell flat. Every section of them, except one. The section where a red cord hung in a window. Joshua had given his word, and his men kept it. They went into the city and brought out Rahab and every person in her household, her father, her mother, her brothers, her entire family. Everyone she had gathered under that roof. All of them were saved because of the faith and courage of one woman. Rahab doesn't disappear after Jericho. The Bible tells us she lived among the Israelites. She did not go back to Canaan. She did not return to her old life. She crossed over, in every sense of the word. And then Matthew chapter 1 tells us something remarkable. In the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the opening chapter of the New Testament, Matthew writes, Salmon, the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. She married an Israelite named Salmon. She became the mother of Boaz, the same Boaz who would later marry Ruth. She became the great-grandmother of King David, and through that royal line, she became an ancestor of Jesus Christ himself. The woman once called a sinner is woven into the most sacred story ever told. The New Testament mentions Rahab twice, and both times it is striking. Hebrews 11:31. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient. Faith. The same word is used for Abraham. The same word is used for Moses. The same hall of fame. And then James 2:25. Was not even Rahab the prostitute considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies? Righteous. Not just forgiven, not just spared. Righteous. God does not define people by their past. He does not look at where you have been and decide where you are allowed to go. He looks at what you do when the moment comes. He looks at your faith. And by that measure, Rahab stands among the greatest who ever lived. Here is what Rahab's story tells us. You do not have to be from the right family. You do not have to have a spotless history. You do not have to have always known God. Rahab had none of those things. What she had was this. When she heard the truth, she believed it. And when she believed it, she acted on it immediately. She didn't wait until her life was cleaned up. She didn't wait until she had all the answers. She hung a red cord in a window and trusted that the God of Israel was exactly who he said he was. And he did not just spare her. He honored her. He placed her name in the lineage of his son. That is the kind of God we serve. Rahab's story is proof that no one is too far gone. No background is too broken. No past is too messy for God to work with. If you have ever felt like your history disqualifies you from God's plan, Rahab is your answer. She is in the Bible for a reason, and that reason is you. If this message blessed you today, please subscribe to MOE Golden Hour Tales TV. We drop new Bible stories every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Leave a comment below. Tell me what part of Rahab's story spoke to you most, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Be blessed.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and watch more Bible stories to grow in faith and wonder. See you in the next tale.